stop anybody out in the lobby, Zach? Are we good?
We're good.
People stop there? Awesome. Okay, welcome everybody. This is so awesome. It's awesome that we had to pull more chairs. So shout out to you guys for showing up and being all, oh, Connor's got the lights on me now. That's great. Welcome everyone to the Small Business Success Series. We are so excited to have you here. My name's Elena. I am the marketing director at Big Red Jelly. For those of you who don't know and aren't super familiar with Big Red Jelly and found us by chance, and, marketing that we did. We are a branding, web design, and marketing agency here in Provo. We just work like a block that way, and we do a lot of really cool marketing work from like design, like logo design, brand design, obviously web design, and then a lot of different marketing things. We do ads, we do SEO, so lots of stuff going on at Big Red Jelly, but we're super, super excited to have you guys here. Tonight is going to be full of a lot of great insights to kind of help you as business owners wrap up 2025, gear up for 2026. Can't believe that it's almost December. That's crazy, but you just keep chugging along. So we'll get started. Oh, I have the clicker. I forgot that. That's crazy. So thank you so much to Kiln, who is so kind to have us use their space every time. It's so cute. I love walking through here. They have the cutest setup, and if I didn't work at Big Red Jelly and I didn't have an office space, I'd probably work here. So they've convinced me. But shout out to Kiln. This is a great space. So we have some prizes tonight. So just to go over what these prizes are, we have some item prizes that are kind of fun, and then we have some business prizes to help all of you small business owners to kind of get stuff moving, get stuff off the ground, or just to help with whatever you have going on. So we have an iPad up for grabs, which is super exciting. We have some new Big Red Jelly merch, which sounds not as exciting, but just you wait, I have pictures, and it's going to be exciting. We have a growth strategy session and a social media content package from Big Red Jelly. We have a personality type communication style driving forces assessment from Mike Lamb, one of our other speakers, and an upper mid-funnel marketing audit by Jessica Chase at Above the Fold for one of our other speakers. So lots of really cool prizes. To enter, oh, this is the merch. Wow. Who is this? That's crazy. So we have some this is our cool merch. So go on. It's exciting. So enter the giveaway. To enter the giveaway, go ahead and scan this QR code. When you open up the website, there will be, on the form, you'll just fill out your information, and then there will be 2 check boxes. So if you are a small business owner, you'll want to make sure to check the small business giveaway box. If not, don't check that box, because then if you win one of the giveaway items, you're going to be like, what do I do with this, because I don't have a business. And then maybe you'll have to start a business. So that's crazy turn of events. So don't force yourself into that if you're not ready. So everyone go ahead and scan this. I will wait. So I see the phones go down. It is a nice iPad. Yeah, Josh just wanted to shout that out there. So. All right. Anybody else still need it? We good? We good? No more scanning. No more scanning. All right. Perfect. We will move on then. So today's speakers. Oh, I need to grab my phone because I always forget to do bios. So today's speakers, we have a really awesome lineup today. Hand-picked. So we're super, super excited to hear from all of them. And thank you so much for those of you who are speaking. The light is on me. Where's Mike out? There you are. That's like right where the light is shining. I'm like, I can't see him. Thank you so much to all of you who have been so willing to speak. We're so, so excited. Let me pull up the bios. So our first speaker is going to be our very own Steven Sobisky. So Steven Biscuit Sobisky has over 36 years of dynamic experience in the creative industry. Steven is passionate about transforming ideas into captivating visual stories across entertainment, marketing, and multimedia sectors. His journey has taken him through managing multi-million-dollar projects for industry giants like Disney, DreamWorks, MG, Paramount Pictures, Sony, Warner Brothers, and more, working on iconic films such as Shrek, Race to Witch Mountain, Batman and Robin, Mission Impossible 1, 2, and 3, Godzilla, Lion King, Independence Day, and about 100 other film and television productions. As the founder and CEO of Sandman Studios Entertainment for the past 23 years, Steven led award-winning teams to deliver groundbreaking work recognized by the Academy Awards, Golden Globes, Telly Awards. Steven has partnered with top brands including Stan Lee, Disney, Universal, and Fortune 500 companies. Steven's expertise spans visual effects, 3D modeling, production management, and creative direction, driven by his core mantra, dream, imagine, create. Beyond entertainment, Steven also serves on many Utah 501c3 boards as deputy director, board member, and holds leadership roles supporting veterans and community initiatives, always striving to inspire, innovate, and make a meaningful impact. Steven has been an integral part of the Big Red Jelly team for the past 2 years as head of production and the senior build strategist. Steven is a proud parent of 3 amazing children, and his pride and joy are his 2 grandkids, Noah and Catherine. Everybody give it up for Steven.
So, it gets loud, doesn't it? So I have a question for you. Who has a dream? Okay. Who wants to share a dream really quick? Anybody? Let's hear a dream. Go ahead.
Me and my wife want to have 4 children.
You want 4 children?
4 children.
More children? Okay. You got 4 already or more children? Not yet. Dreams, business dreams.
I have a company called Micro-Detector, and we have products. Right now, we in China. I want to get a client in the US.
Nice. That's awesome. Are you the business owner?
Yes.
Okay. Who else owns a business? Okay. Tell me your business really quick. Which I already know. Go ahead.
Learn about it shortly, but programmatic advertising.
Okay. And that was that your dream? To build a company like that?
When I was young?
Yeah?
No.
No? Okay. Well, today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the challenges of being your own owner. How many, well, raise of hands really quick. Who is a business owner today? A lot of you. Who wants to be a business owner? And of course, who does not want to be a business owner anymore? And so I want to make sure I was clear on that. So one of the things I want to do is I want to talk about my mantra, which is dream, imagine, create. And so this is nobody can open your phone, no cheating. We have a little surprise. May 25th, 1977. What happened then? Does anybody know?
Star Wars.
Gosh, dang it. Star Wars. So yes, that is me. Right there, at 7 years old.
No socks.
And it's actually really go Dodgers. But one of the things that we did was, as a child, I'm sorry, I get emotional about this, because when you have a dream and it actually comes to reality, it's pretty amazing. I had a great opportunity to do that. But the whole thing was 1977, 7-year-old boy sitting on the hood of a car in Sepulveda, California at a drive-in theater. That's all my parents ever did was go to drive-in theaters. They didn't know I liked movies until I sat there when there was flying toasters going across the screen. I was like, I want to do that. And then watching Star Wars, 7 years old. Who has a 7-year-old child? Anybody? We've all been there. You sit still? No. I didn't move 1 inch that entire time. I was just in awe. So from that point on, for 25 years, I wanted to imagine what that would be. So 25 years down the road, 31 years old, lots of things happened in that time, and I'm like, I want to figure out what that is. Well, I figured it out. 9/11 hit. I am a 9/11 survivor, and so a year after that, I figured I am going to do something different. So I started my company. I can tell you between this part and this part, as business owners, is it challenging? It sucks, let's just be honest. But there's good things and there's bad things that happen in those times. Tell me, I like participation, audience participation. Tell me something good that has happened from your dream and when you imagined it. Anybody? Anybody? Back.
We've got a really awesome team now, and that's a good thing, being around the best people.
And when you actually started Big Red Jelly, you had a dream.
Yes.
Did you ever imagine where it's at right now?
I imagine, it's not where it is now, but I imagine.
You imagine getting there. But this process here to here, it struggles. I've worked with a lot of different people within the industry, some of which you probably know who they are, but it's tough. The biggest thing that I learned about my industry that I've been in for so long is I learned what not to do. The biggest thing about being your own owner, it's about integrity. Your business is all you are. That's your voice, that's your image, that's everything you have. Being in the Hollywood industry, that's a tough industry to be in, I can tell you right now. And because everybody is just cutthroat, they're going after you all the time. There are so many things out there that you see that you don't want to see, but it's really about who you are. And that's the thing about your business, is once I got to this point, when I started creating, 24 years I've had my company, Sandman Studios. I'm still consulting, still helping individuals on film projects and stuff, but the big thing for me was I wanted something different. I wanted something different, and that's why I came to Big Red Jelly. I actually was looking at Big Red Jelly in the beginning. It was helping me with some projects. Come to find out, they were looking for someone to come and help them. And so I was like, this is kind of an interesting combination. So I decided, you know what, let's make this happen. So I've been with them for 2 years, and we've been really creating a lot of great things, and we've been building things. As you as owners of a company, when you get into that dream mode, who has had that dream and is living it right now? Think about that. Have you been imagining that dream to come true? I mean, I didn't think that one day I was going to work on Shrek for 5 years. I started it, then we stopped for a whole year because our main actor died. We had to rebrand, reset up, restructure all over again. That was a struggle for us to do. But the thing is, we had to keep imagining we can do this. We got new actors, we got the new foundation in place. That's a huge hiccup, right? We as business owners get those hiccups all the time. And so what we have to do is we have to pick ourselves up. And the one thing that I'm always a believer in, get people who are better than you at anything you do. I love instructing, I love talking to people, going through things. I know our team probably knows because I talk to everybody all the time, probably more than I should, but that's just who I am. I just like to have that communication going. But as a business owner, you gotta find people who are ambitious, who want to be an owner one day. How many of you who raise their hand want to own their own business? Raise your hands again. Why do you want to be a business owner? Freedom. Okay? Who else?
I like creating solutions to problems and
Okay.
do it in ways that hasn't been done before.
I have something that I like to create, and I want to do it my way. And if I own it, I have to say.
Okay?
To make a difference.
To make a difference. Good. Who else? Come on, we gotta have more than that. Come on. In the back.
To tell my own story.
Tell your own story. That's key. Every business has a story, right? Mine is my mantra. Dream, imagine, create. And mine was always, if you can dream it, if you can imagine, I can create it. That is what I went in talking to people day in and day out. And it's one of those things that as Big Red Jelly, when we're doing a bunch of work for clients, what do? We actually work to help build your company's brand. We help build your vision, your message, and get it out there. When I walked into places, I'll give you an example. I walked into Disney one day and I met with Michael Eisner. If you guys know who he is, who's the president of Disney. And I met with him because they needed a whole new marketing department, and I came in to kind of do some work for them, so we worked on Lion King and did some stuff with them. And I walked in, and his first thing was, hi Steve, how are you? Good, good. Oh, I know Samuel Studios. I said, no you don't. You have no idea who we are. He said, well you guys are like, I've been in business for about 3 weeks. You don't know who I am. But I made a name that recognized out there. I made something that said, that sounds familiar. That's what we do at Big Red Jelly, is we help you build that brand. We help build that foundation. That's why it's important for us as a company to help you business owners, or those who want to be business owners, grow and get better. That's why they have the brand build and grow. I have the dream, imagine, create. To me, that's the important part. And so one of the things that I want to inspire you to do as much as I possibly can is don't forget the dream. I always get emotional. I worked for so long with thousands of artists, and every day you get the emotions from them. It's like, oh, it drains on you, drains on you, drains on you. But it's like, I just feel their passion. My kids know. You get me watching American Idol, you get me watching, So You Think You Could Dance, things like that. Teary-eyed. I do. They're like, oh, Dad's watching the show, he's crying again. That's me. I'm kind of a softie when it comes to that. But dreams, you gotta follow them. You have to imagine what that dream's gonna be like. And if you can do that, the passion will grow. You can see I have passion about what I do. I can get up here and go, and talk all day long. I've done this a lot. But this is where I want to be. I want to be kind of hoping that I can inspire somebody. Who was born before 1970? Who's in this room? Okay? 2 of you. I'm the oldest dude at our office. I'm dad to pretty much everybody at the office. Almost everybody. Cameron? You can't be my son. But he's close. But I'm dad at the office for me. And that's what drove me there, is like, I want to be able to help inspire and help those young artists grow even more and more and more. Bring my knowledge, but for me, I'm probably learning more at Big Red Jelly than I'm helping. That's just how I am. That's how I grow myself. When I keep imagining what I'm going to do, I keep going back to dream, imagine, create. Everything that I do, it starts back at that dream. Then it comes back to the imagination, back to creating it. And the only person who's going to create it is every one of you. And it's also going to take a team to help you grow that company. It's going to help you grow that brand, grow that message. And so one of the things that I would suggest, if you ever want to sit down and have a conversation, meet with us, talk with us, sit down with me, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have. You can come to our office and hang out and talk and, have some water and donuts, and we're going to talk. So that's kind of what you do around here, I guess. Krispy Kremes and swig. My team knows I'm not a big swig fan. My family knows it's just soda. That's how I look at it. But for me, I just want to inspire you to just live that dream. Imagine what it can be like. That's the thing I want you to take away. I have this dream and I want it to happen. I want it to imagine what that's going to be like. And then when you create that, holy crap, that's huge. That's the big part. And I look at the film projects I've been a part of, TV shows I've been a part of, brands that I've been a part of. I've worked on some of the biggest brands out there, but I'm only as good as the team that I have around me. I can't do it all myself, but creative teams, creative input, interaction between everybody is key. So as a business owner, future business owner, those who don't want to be a business owner, stay in there. Stay in the game. Don't give up. You're gonna get the hurdles. This right here, it's gonna suck. I'm not gonna lie. But there are some good things that come from it if you continue fighting and continue moving forward. Other than that is all I have. I think so. Oh, there's that. I just want to show over. So just really quick, that picture was the day after watching Star Wars. So it was great to get picture day. And I was a little upset because I wasn't a Red Sox fan. I was a Dodger fan, been one on my leg. But I did take Babe Ruth's number, so that was a good thing. But again, thank you. If you have any questions, I will try to answer some if I possibly can, but I just want to take away from other speakers. Yes?
Are you born to be creative and innovative?
Mm-hmm. How did I?
Yeah.
I started out, I wanted to become an architect. That's what I wanted to be. Obviously, I played some semi-pro baseball. I wanted to be a fireman. I wanted to be a policeman. I wanted to be army. I wanted to be everything. I grew up in a family that was, you just have to go do it. No one really pushed you. I was just one of those, I just wanted to be creative. I listen to people. I listen to what people have to say, and I'm one of those that I can have an answer for everything. And I think my family can relate to that. It's like, well, what about this? Blah, blah, blah. What about this? Blah, blah, blah. I have an answer for it. But I just try to think about what I listen to what people say, and how do I take that in and actually kind of, take it externally for people. So. Yes?
What are some of the things that you created that you're proud of?
Well, my kids. I mean, as much as people joke all the time about Shrek, because it does annoy me after a while, because neighbors will, he's the Shrek guy. Okay, I feel like a great, big, giant green ogre. That would be one of the projects that I would probably be most proud of on the film side. Only because it was groundbreaking. We went through some challenges that most people will never go through in their entire life. And sticking with it, I was there when DreamWorks started. So we were working on Ants first, and then right when Ants ended, we started Shrek. But Shrek was probably the big thing. But I was able to have a lot of input on, because I was the lighting effects supervisor, so I was in charge of the look, the feel, all the effects and everything on there. So it had to be this way, or it couldn't get by. And if you know who Jeffrey Katzenberg, and if you don't, just think Farquaad. That's who he is. That's exactly who the character is based off of, was him. So we had a lot of personalities, but I had about 300 artists I was over for 5 years. We had about 700 people in the company. So, but I would say that was unfortunately, is my favorite project from an animation standpoint. Any other questions on the side? I'll give you one thing. When I started my company, when I left DreamWorks, what I went to is I went to Geffen. Spielberg wasn't there. I went to Geffen and Katzenberg, and I said, "Give me Shrek.com." I said, "I want that project." I said, because it was terrible, absolutely terrible. And so they gave me Shrek.com. I did it for free. That's what started my company. I started Sandman by doing Shrek.com for free. We did it in 2 weeks. I didn't build one lick of that thing. I designed it, but I had no idea how to build a website. I've only been building websites for maybe 10 years. But it's just because I had to. Because as an owner, sometimes your artist kind of gets you hostage. I'm like, I can't do this. I need to learn myself. So self-taught, learn what you have to learn. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
What would you say, what was your why for doing this stuff? What's your why? What's the why behind it?
I want to make a difference. And it's not, for me, I don't like accolades, and I know that for 2 years, Josh and Zach have been asking me to do this. I'm like, no, because I have to talk about what I've done. I don't like talking about it. I rather just do. But my why was just to make a difference. Show my kids. Whatever you put your mind to, just do it. Anything else before I cry like a baby? Gosh, it's terrible. Well, it doesn't help when your kids are sitting there. So, that's every time I'm at events, they're not there. When they're here, I'm a baby. Any other questions? Awesome. Thank you very much.
This is gentleman over there. Just for guessing what that
For
was.
Star Wars. For Star Wars. That was actually the second one for just today, because he bought one and I ate it, and I wasn't supposed to.
I went on her desk and she ate it. I'm like, that was freaking
You can't just put food on my desk. Expect me not to eat it. Anyways, thank you so much again, Steven. Too many things in my hands. Okay, our next speaker is going to be Mike Lamb. Mike Lamb is a certified business and executive coach who specializes in helping business owners and leaders build stronger, more profitable businesses. With over 17 years of executive leadership experience, Mike previously served as vice president at Precision Concrete Cutting, where he helped grow the company from a small startup into an international operation with 65 offices across the US, Canada, and Australia. Drawing on his deep expertise in operational efficiency, sales coaching, and team building, Mike partners with business owners to streamline operations, increase revenue, and make smarter hiring decisions. He is passionate about helping leaders unlock their potential and believes effective coaching can be the catalyst that drives lasting success. Mike delivers personalized, results-oriented coaching tailored to each client's unique goals and challenges. He earned his degree in technology management from Utah Valley University. Outside of work, Mike enjoys biking, snowboarding, and fishing, often sharing these adventures with his family and making the most of the time outdoors. Everybody give it up for Mike.
Hi, everybody. It's great to be here. Thanks, Stevie. That was great. I really appreciate what you shared. And thanks to Greg, who invited me, and Big Red Jelly for putting on this event. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at holding microphones. Is that better? That's much better. So, as she introduced me there, thank you. I did run a business that was called Precision Concrete Cutting, or Safe Sidewalks. We grew from a small shop to a business that went throughout the whole entire United States, Australia, Canada. We built a patented tool that we would repair sidewalks with and make them safe for people that are walking down the sidewalks or rolling on their wheelchair if you're blind. And we grew that, and I started in college, and we went from beginning to, it was a very large business when I decided I wanted to step away to be home. I was on the road traveling and spent a lot of time in hotels, so I decided to stay home and come home, sold my ownership in that business. So that's kind of a little background on what I've done. So today, if I can get this to go right, so I'm a business coach now. I coached a lot of franchise owners and helped them grow their businesses and build them. And it was really natural for me to transition into becoming a business coach and coach business owners. And so it's my Glam business coaching. Not really original, but it's what it is. Glam's business coaching. So what I want to talk about today is what we're looking at as business owners for the year. And I prepared this for the whole audience. I know some of you are potential business owners, some of you are business owners, some of you may just be currently working in a role. And these are questions that I want to run through that apply to all of us, that we need to stop and think about our year that we just had and the year that we're going to have. And so I do a lot of strategic planning sessions with business owners. And so I kind of simplified it. It's a lot more complicated when I do it with the actual business owners, but I tried to simplify it today and make it so that it's applicable to everyone. So I want to start here. So this is me. She kind of already introduced me. So, and I want to share a picture here. So this is me on the Grand Canyon. I love river rafting. It's one of my greatest passions in life. I would go on the river and live on the river if I didn't have a family. I have responsibilities. But I try to go every year. I go down as extra crew. I work with the crew on the river, and we run guests down the river. We'll run as many as 30 people down the canyon. And it's pretty scary. It's a little, intimidating. The Grand Canyon has the biggest rapids in the world. And they rate them different from anywhere else. It's a 10 rating, not a 5. Where most rivers are a 1 through 5. And so when we start, we get all prepared. There's a lot of planning. We have to plan every meal. We have to plan where we're going to sleep at night. There's little campsites. We need to know where we're going to stay. We need to know where we're going to stop and take people up side canyons and enjoy the adventure that is the Grand Canyon. And then we run the river. There's a lot of planning involved, a lot more than you think. You think that it's just jump on the river and we enjoy the rapids and have fun. Well, you're spending 14 days in it, going 280 miles on a boat, and you have to plan all the meals in a rubber boat, not even a large boat. And so this is me and my friend, good friend Justin and Katie. And so we got to nap, planned everything out, prepared all our meals, planned it, go down the river. And as we're going down the river, things changed. There was a monsoon while we were on the river, and we had to change plans. We weren't able to pull over to certain places that we wanted to stop and stay at. Some of the sites that we like to visit, we weren't able to go to, so we're having to adjust as we go. And so we ran down the river. We went the whole 280 miles. One person fell out of the boat. We had to pull her in, but she was safe. A couple people had some fun rides, but we got to the bottom because of our planning and our preparation. And when we got out, you'll see I have my little book here. This is my Grand Canyon River Kayak book, and I have notes all throughout it. You can't probably see it from as far away, but I write down everything that I experienced, so I have notes for the next time, right? So 1 year from now, when I go back down the Grand Canyon, I know what I experienced and what to watch for, and where to camp, and how good was the camp, and how fun was certain hikes that we did, and I keep really detailed notes. And Justin and Katie and I stop at the end and we talk about how the trip went, right? We stop and review it and take a look at what went well, what didn't go well, and what we should do next time. And that's what we're gonna ask today. So jump in right here. So let's look back to plan forward. We need to look at what we've gone through in 2025 and plan for 2026. We need to take time and plan. Planning is so important to any business, and any business owner needs to stop and take time to plan. So let's ask these simple questions. What's working? So I have these listed out, and I'll read through and cover most of them, but what was our big sale, and how do we do that more? You know, what worked? Who was our star employee, and how do we find or build more employees like that individual? What product or service is our strongest? How are we getting our clients, and how do we continue being where they are? We need to pinpoint our clients and identify and go to where they are. What processes are working for us? And what part of our culture is creating the most productivity and business and replicate that? So we need to stop and ask these questions. And I know some of you may be in a sales role or something like that, but let's stop and ask that same question of ourselves. If we're in a role, what is working? Where are my clients? Those type of questions. What's not working? Stop doing what doesn't work. We should stop doing the things that we're not getting results for. We need to be tracking our results, but we also need to identify when something's not working and stop doing it. I opened an office in a territory one time that was not working, and we kept trying for too many years to make that office work, and we should have stopped. We should have stopped earlier when we questioned it right away. So what products, services, or locations are not profitable? What prospecting and marketing efforts did not produce results? Big Red Jelly should be able to help you if you're working with them to identify what's not working in your marketing efforts. What processes do we need to look at, and what is not creating productivity with our team? So we need to stop doing those things that don't work. What's next? We have to stop and think about what's next. We don't need to change our business all the time. Obviously, change is hard on people, and most personality types that I work with don't like change. But we need to stop and think about what's next. Let's look at what's next for 2026. What is our long-term vision, and are we moving toward that? What products or services should we consider? What trends or technologies can create new opportunities? Think about it right now, there's a lot going on with AI. And every time I meet with a client, that's something that's a new opportunity that they're identifying within that. What is working that we should double down on? What hires or promotions should we make? And what strategic partnerships should we consider next year? Be thoughtful and identify what we want to do next. Let's try new things. If we handed off some things that aren't working and got rid of them, then let's try to find something new that we need to be working on. Okay, so with what's next, I want to talk about the British cycling team. I know that's kind of a strange direction to go, but we need to try new things and see change. And change doesn't happen quickly, and growth doesn't happen fast. But with the British cycling team, it's a really unique story with David Brailsford. I don't know if, I see a couple of heads nodding, so I think a few of you know this story, but David Brailsford was brought on as the cycling coach of the British cycling team, the Olympic team and the Tour de France team. And they had not won in many years. And even large manufacturing bicycle companies didn't even want to put them on their contract and have riding their bikes. They performed so poorly. And so we're going to watch a little video here about it and what David Brailsford did to implement to the team that led to them winning gold medals and the Tour de France on multiple occasions. So it's better said through this video than from me, so I'm just going to play a video.
The story is about Team Sky, which is Great Britain's professional cycling team. Sometime in the mid-2000s, around 2010, they hired a man named Dave Brailsford. And at the time, Team Sky had a very middle-of-the-road record when it came to performance on the world stage. They had won about 1 gold medal in the last 100 years, from 1908 to 2008. They had never won a Tour de France, the premier event in cycling. And when they hired Dave Brailsford, they said, we would like to change this. We'd like to improve our performance. We'd like to reach a higher level of performance. What's your plan to help us do that? And when they hired Brailsford, he said, I have this strategy called the aggregation of marginal gains. And the way that he described it was the 1% improvement in nearly everything that you do. And so they started by looking at a lot of things you would expect a cycling team to look at. They improved their bike tires and made them slightly lighter. They put a more ergonomic seat on the bike. They had their riders wear biofeedback sensors so they could see how each person responded to the training and practice that they did each day. They had their outdoor riders wear indoor racing suits because they were lighter and more aerodynamic. But then they did a variety of things that you wouldn't expect a cycling team to do. They split tested different types of massage gels to see which one led to the best form of recovery. They taught their riders how to wash their hands to reduce the risk of infection and keep them healthy. They even figured out what kind of pillow led to the best night's sleep for each rider, and then brought that on the road with them to hotels. So Brailsford said, if we can actually execute on this strategy, if we can aggregate all these small changes, these little 1% improvements, then I think we can win the Tour de France in about 5 years. He ended up being wrong. They won the Tour de France in 3 years, and then they repeated again the 4th year with a different rider. And then just last year, they won for the 3rd time in 4 years. And Brailsford's strategy really came to fruition at the Olympics in London in 2012, when they won 70% of the gold medals available. And so what I'd like to start us off with is the idea that small improvements actually can add up to a very significant change in a relatively short period of time. And this is just basic math, all right? If you get 1% better each day over 365 days, you end up 37 times better at the end of the year. If you get 1% worse, you take yourself almost all the way down to 0. Now, You might say, okay, well, 1% improvements are nice, but clearly no one is going to get 1% better every single day. So is that ever enough to accumulate to anything, considering that we're not going to be perfect all the time? And I would argue, yes. In fact, you can get 10 times better if you get 1% better 5 days a week, 46 weeks a year, so it's about 230 days in total. That gives you 6 weeks off for holidays, illness, laziness, and just generally not getting things done. But you're still 10 times better at the end of the year. And what I would like to propose is that the way to do this is not by setting better goals for ourselves or at our organizations, but by building better systems and obtaining better habits. In fact, you could say that the goal had never changed. They wanted to win the Tour de France each year. They wanted to win Olympic gold medals. It wasn't the goal that made the difference. Instead, it was their system, the way that they applied those improvements in a 1% basis day after day.
Okay, that is one of my favorite principles that I've ever learned as a business coach, and something that I encourage all of my clients. I want them to make incremental change. As a business coach, I don't come in and change a business overnight. But if we're working on it and you're working on goals and you have implemented change, we're making 1% changes, not just in one area. We need to be looking at all across the business what we can change and improve, and it will add up. Brian Tracy, action without planning is the cause of all failure. Action with planning is the cause of all success. So we need to plan out our year, make those incremental changes. Don't expect results to come instantly, but work on making those changes. So that's what I have. Any questions, anyone?
When do you usually raft the Grand Canyon?
What?
What's the season to raft?
Oh, Grand Canyon season starts in May and it runs till October. You can do it all year long. I know people that do it are actually launching right now. they go down. They have a they call it a sauna tent that they take in. Yeah, but you're wearing like full dry suits. So. Oh, last question. Yeah.
What are some of the most common problems that you see business owners running into, and things that you some of your go-to improvements that you recommend for business owners?
Thank you. The one problem that I see often is a lack of processes in their systems. The other one that I see very often is what I call the owner trap, and that's when the owner's owning all those processes and doing everything and not handing and delegating things off through processes to other people.
Yeah, I had a similar question, which would be, what are some of those top 1% changes and incremental changes that you're helping businesses make?
Yeah, so delegation is one that I work on all the time with business owners. That seems to be one of the main ones. But then sales processes and reporting and tracking things. A lot of them don't track data and use data to make decisions. One of the 1% changes, it seems hard at first, but when you create a system and you're tracking data and looking at it, you see results.
What is the first thing that you do with business owners? What do you annual plan?
Okay. So the very first thing I do with business owners is actually coming up for free today. Is I do a personality assessment, get to know who they are, what their strengths and weaknesses are, to help them identify where they can delegate things off and hand things off, and what they need to focus on. We need to focus on our highest value activities that we produce results from. So that's where I focus. And then strategic planning, I follow what's called the Rockefeller system, and we go through strengths, weaknesses, trends. We go through key team players and go through the whole business top to bottom and look at where we can have performance increases. All right.
A lot of times for
Yeah, that's kind of like the river trip, right, where we had to kind of adjust with what's happening. We have to pay attention to trends and changes and adjust to and we need to be looking at metrics throughout the year. Frequently, we make a plan, we may have to adjust. The world is changing all the time, and so we do have to be flexible on our plan throughout the year. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Michael. Awesome. There's the information. He also has business cards out on the table. So if anyone wants to get in contact with Mike, business cards out on the table. This is your last chance to enter. So if you haven't entered, go ahead and enter. Anyone needs to still enter? Not you, Josh. I saw that. Not you. Not you. Everybody else. Anybody else still need this? Awesome. Okay, our final speaker for the night will be Jessica Chase. Jessica is passionate about programmatic advertising and multi-touch attribution. The ad tech environment is complex. Jessica enjoys helping advertisers understand and learn how to navigate that complexity. She has many years of experience helping advertisers efficiently navigate the programmatic landscape and put their ad dollars in the best possible place to set them up for success across their entire marketing funnel. Many advertisers waste ad dollars on targeting the wrong users, those who aren't in their demographic or who don't fit their personas. Jessica enjoys helping advertisers get more targeted with their advertising, improve efficiency with their ad spend, and grow their businesses using programmatic ad formats. Jessica is a mom of 3 kiddos and happily married to her husband of 18 years. Her hobbies include family time, meditation, hiking and walking, paddleboarding, swimming, reading, travel, and gratitude journaling. Everyone give it up for Jessica.
Thank you so much. And Big Red Jelly Team, every single one of you is amazing, especially Elena. Every single thing she does is spot on. So thank you for everything you do. And Mike, I just wanted to say, I just read The Power of Habit at the beginning of the year. And I committed to creating an Excel sheet with 15 habits at the beginning of the year, and my goal was to improve by 1%. And I've been tracking that every single day this year, and I feel like it's been an amazing experience because it takes 60 days to start a habit. And it's just been something that's been top of mind for me, so I appreciate that. So today, I'm going to get into a little bit more technical of a concept than what these other guys have been getting into, and we're going to talk about programmatic media and how it can grow your business in 2026. And a lot of people don't even know what programmatic media is, so don't feel worried if you don't know. But to keep it simple, it's really just automated data-driven ad buying across the following ad formats. So smart TV ads, podcasts, audio ads like on Spotify and SoundCloud, digital out of home, like if you see in the airport, all the screens are taken over, or digital billboards on the freeway. As well as if you're on a news site and you see display ads or native ads, or if you're watching a video on a news site, you'll see there's ad spots like at the beginning or the middle or the end. That's what programmatic advertising is. And so you'll probably recognize some of these publishers that you interact with on a daily basis. So an example is like in the morning I'll hop on a news site and I will probably interact with a display ad, maybe a native ad, and during the day on my lunch break I'm probably listening to a podcast in my car or Spotify. And then at night I'm turning on, Hulu or Disney or Netflix. And so everyone is really exposed to programmatic ads every day. It's just because it's such a hard term, people get confused by it. But it's really just the media that we're consuming every day. It does live outside the walled gardens. So the walled gardens are Google and Facebook and all of Amazon, YouTube, TikTok as well, LinkedIn. And so it's more considered the open internet and its expanded reach beyond the walled gardens that most advertisers are running on. So programmatic is expanding a lot, and it's been expanding a lot for the last 10 years, and the reason for that is when I was little, I consumed TV on network TV and cable TV, and I listened to AM and FM radio, but all that inventory is moving over to programmatic inventory. And that's really cool for everybody because it allows us to be more targeted. If you notice, the Super Bowl was programmatic for the first time in the last year. It was available on Fubo TV instead of just like a network channel. Same with the Olympics. It was on Peacock for the first time. So the cool thing about that is it allows smaller advertisers to get in on the ad space. You don't have to have $1 million to buy a Super Bowl spot anymore. And you don't have to have a ton of dollars to buy on Olympics either. Hello? Okay. So it just allows like small to medium businesses to get on those larger publishers, which is really exciting for them. What programmatic is really good at is, outside of just Google and Meta, you can get lower CPMs and you can get more targeted. You also can reduce waste. So on traditional TV, you probably noticed that you saw the same ad over and over and over again. On programmatic media, we're able to reduce that waste and just be more efficient. We're also able to help you understand what is the optimal path for conversion. So let's say that you were running with a vendor and you were only running TV and display, but we found that in a lot of cases when you layer in an audio ad as part of that journey, it actually increases the conversion rate. So it's important to have all your data under one platform as well, so you can see that attribution rate. One trend that I've noticed is a lot of advertisers are buying like on Hulu and then Paramount Plus and then Roku. And they're buying on all these individual platforms. And the problem with that is they will serve ads to the same person over and over again. So that's why you see the same TV ad over and over again. So the benefit of running under our platform is you can only serve one user 4 ads versus one user 20 ads. So it just reduces that waste. There are various ways that you can target users with programmatic ads in the ad formats that I mentioned. And I'm just going to give you an example of like a dental software company. So if I'm a dental software company, I probably want to target all the dentists across the entire US. So one thing that we've implemented for that specific example is geofencing all the dentists across the entire US and layering frequent visitors of those locations and decision makers of those locations. Then as part of their strategy, perhaps they've invested in 10 events a year and they've invested in booth space. They've spent $10,000 to have a booth at this major event. So they want to make sure that they get an ROI on that event. So we can geofence those actual event centers, we can drive traffic to the booth, and then we can geofence the actual event and target those users for 30 days after. Then with the help of Big Red Jelly, who develops the ideal customer persona, we take the ideal customer persona and we target that across third-party segments, as well as we use first-party data, which first-party data is you visited a website, so you're in somebody's retargeting bucket, or you filled out their form, so you're in their CRM. So we would upload the CRM data to our platform and we would target those users, and we can separate it into different buckets. So we can separate it into people who perhaps have bought one category, but you want them to buy another category in an e-commerce sense, or people who perhaps, have left the business and you want to recapture them again. There's a lot of different ways that you can use CRM targeting. And then a cool, under the radar competitive strategy would be to take the same paid search keywords that you're using and then add your competitors' keywords. And for people who are researching that information, so let's take the dental software company, perhaps people are, investigating their competitor and they're reading their name. We can serve an ad to those users after their competitor name was researched. So here's some case studies. Like Big Red Jelly, we're industry agnostic. We work with almost every single industry. What we've found is when you layer programmatic on top of Google, that you will see a 3.6% conversion rate lift when smart TV ads are involved in the journey. And then if you add display ads in, it more than doubles the conversion rate. This is an average across all of our clients. And then when you layer it on top of Facebook, it's not as big of a lift, but it's still a lift. And then with Bing, we see the best results when display is involved in the journey. And just like a soccer team that involves 10 players, you can't just hire the power forwards. So what I see, podcast advertising and Spotify advertising, or any of the audio platforms. There's also going to be an increase in retail media. So what retail media is let's say that I have a supplement and I'm selling it in Sprouts or Walmart. I want to make sure that my brand stands out, and so Walmart offers inventory on their app that you can purchase, as well as in their store. So that's what retail media is. And of course, AI-powered optimization is going to be big in 2026 for programmatic and every industry. So what to watch out for when you're running programmatic advertising is you want to make sure that you're running on high quality publishers. And this is in Google as well, because Google has a lot of low quality sites I'm sure everybody's seen. We really focus on running on the top 500 publishers and sellers, which we know are just really quality inventory like Hulu. We do leverage AI-driven optimization for creative optimization. We look at each publisher and how they're performing, and we're always optimizing towards the best publishers, the best creative, etc. You want to make sure that you're balancing reach and precision and not only focusing on clicks. The one thing that drives me nuts about marketing in the last 20 years is there's just been a really large focus on clicks, and that you literally cannot click a TV ad. You can't click on an audio ad, it's just a listen. And so we need to open our minds to more full funnel measurement and having you be part of the journey. And then just making sure that your CRM system is clean and compliant, and that your first party data is ready to use. And then applying brand safety standards. One of the reasons we're called getabovethefold.com is we want to make sure that our clients' ads are showing above the fold on all screens, because there's a lot of really fraudulent inventory under the fold. There are a lot of sensitive categories on Google, and you can't run ads if you're in those sensitive categories. And so we can get beyond that, and programmatic, we can still run those ads. And then avoid over-targeting. Something that I see is people don't cast a wide net in the beginning. They just say, I know who I'm gonna go after, and therefore they miss out on bigger opportunities that if we casted a wider net that they probably would have found would be productive. And then just watching that frequency capping, which means how many ads that you're showing to each user. You just don't want to spam users. So for 2026, how to get started in running programmatic advertising, we recommend that you audit your current spend, because a lot of advertisers that we run into, they're like, we're all in on Google and Facebook. So let's say they have a $160,000 marketing spend, and all of it's on Google and Facebook. ChatGPT actually recommends that you run a test in programmatic, whether it's taking away from that $160,000 or creating a test budget, just to see if you can see lift. The conservative test that ChatGPT recommended was 10%, aggressive is 20%, and industry standard is 30%. And then just making sure you're connecting your first party data and utilizing that first. It's low-hanging fruit, and testing across channels, measuring and optimizing without just focusing on clicks, and seeing what works across all channels and really focusing on what's working to grow the business. To just build an internal programmatic strategy that can help you just succeed over your competitors. Any questions?
I had to step out for this. We already covered this. I apologize. Do you have any opinion on in AI shopping coming up? Like I know Gemini just released their, or was it ChatGPT just released their partnership with Shopify, so you can buy products that are on Shopify directly through that? Is there going to be advertising opportunities there as well, do you think?
I'm not sure about that yet. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but I'm sure. It's moving so rapidly.
I've used retail media in the past, and in some cases, some people think that like Walmart extorts suppliers to do it. Not great results. So is the layering, are you seeing the results when it's layered with other media channels?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Measurement is tough. And we partner with a lot of multi-touch attribution companies so that you can factor impression data and view data into the journey. Because I can tell you many situations where people come to me and they're just like, this isn't working, but they're not necessarily looking at the data the right way or giving it enough time. So sometimes you need to really look and dive into your CRM system and say, well, how long has this person been in my CRM? Like, how long is my sales cycle really? And how long should I give this as a test? And then for Walmart specific, retail specific, I would definitely get a multi-touch attribution tool to make sure that you're understanding, first of all, how many touch points in the user journey does it take for me to convert somebody? And for example, when I layer, smart TV ads into the journey, does it improve things? Do I spend less money because it takes less impressions for somebody to convert? That kind of data will help you understand that more than some of the traditional like Google Analytics data and kind of click-based data that we've kind of relied on in the past. But it does require a little bit more of an investment. So when people have those questions, initially we just really set them up with a really good multi-touch attribution partner so that they don't start off on the wrong foot. Does that help?
I have a client right now, Jessica, that is really concerned that programmatic advertising...
One of my personas is Josh, and he's a CEO and he owns a company. And then one of my personas in the marketing journey, that the ROI improves dramatically. So what should we look forward to in 2026? There's going to be a big lift in people purchasing video inventory, and that's pre-roll, mid-roll, post-roll inventory on news sites, as well as smart TV ads. That's had growth for the last 5 years, and it's going to continue to grow. We're also going to see a lift in people purchasing podcast advertising and Spotify advertising, or any of the audio platforms. There's also going to be an increase in retail media. So what retail media is let's say that I have a supplement and I'm selling it in Sprouts or Walmart. I want to make sure that my brand stands out, and so Walmart offers inventory on their app, focusing on walled gardens in the past, but there is a lot of opportunity for reach in the open internet. And so if brands decide to take that chance, they could dominate in 2026 and gain market share where their competitors are not. So running a pilot with us would be a good start in identifying, making sure that we understand your KPIs, your customer persona through Big Red Jelly, obviously, and then partnering with us to just build an internal programmatic strategy that can help you just succeed over your competitors. Any questions?
I had to step out for this. We already covered this. I apologize. Do you have any opinion on like in AI shopping coming up? Like I know Gemini just released their, what was it? ChatGPT just released their partnership with Shopify, so you can buy products that are on Shopify directly through that. Is there going to be advertising opportunities there as well, do you think?
I'm not sure about that yet. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but I'm sure. It's moving so rapidly.
I've used retail media in the past, and in some cases, some people think that like Walmart extorts suppliers to do it. Not great results. So is the layering, are you seeing the results when it's layered with other media channels?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Measurement is tough. And we partner with a lot of multi-touch attribution companies so that you can factor impression data and view data into the journey. Because I can tell you many situations where people come to me and they're just like, this isn't working, but they're not necessarily looking at the data the right way or giving it enough time. So sometimes you need to really look and dive into your CRM system and say, well, how long has this person been in my CRM? Like, how long is my sales cycle really? And how long should I give this as a test? And then for Walmart specific, retail specific, I would definitely get a multi-touch attribution tool to make sure that you're understanding, first of all, how many touch points in the user journey does it take for me to convert somebody? And for example, when I layer, smart TV ads into the journey, does it improve things? Do I spend less money because it takes less impressions for somebody to convert? That kind of data will help you understand that more than some of the traditional like Google Analytics data and kind of click-based data that we've kind of relied on in the past. But it does require a little bit more of an investment. So when people have those questions, initially we just really set them up with a really good multi-touch attribution partner so that they don't start off on the wrong foot. Does that help?
That helps.
I have a client right now, Jessica, that is really concerned that programmatic advertising is not targeted enough. How targeted can you really get?
I mean, the software example was, we can do geofencing, we can geofence events. It really depends on the client and like if they've really done the work on their ideal customer persona. Because there's some clients that have 5 customer personas and they even have names to them and they're like, one of my personas is Josh and he's a CEO and he owns a company. And then one of my personas is a woman and she makes this income and this is her age and she's a mom of 3. And so it depends on like the company and how they've, like the investigation that they've done into their customer. But it's very rare that I've run into a situation where I haven't been able to target a customer persona.
What would be the best attributes, like if I'm a business owner and I'm wanting to create an audience, what are the best attributes or a list of things to have in order for you to do your job?
Yes, so for audience creation, I would start with working with somebody like Big Red Jelly, and I have these conversations all the time, where somebody comes to me, and I think I referred somebody to Ashton last week, and they're just like, well, I don't even know who I'm targeting. And I don't even know what my brand is, and, my website's a mess. So that's part of the reason why I'm like, okay, let's take you back and like start over and make sure you understand who your audience is. But you can always start with first-party data, people that are visiting your website, people that are in your CRM. So that's a good place to start, and it's low-hanging fruit. But if you're wanting to get into prospecting, which is finding new users, you want to make sure that you're targeting the right people because you can waste a lot of money on prospecting. And a lot of times it's recommended that you spend about 75% in prospecting, 25% on lower funnel. And so that's a lot of money that you're spending. You just want to make sure that you know who your audience is. And I love when people dive into their CRM and they're like, who's my best customer? Like the last year, who were my top 10 customers? What were their attributes? They paid me the most money, so maybe let's focus on them for a segment and maybe a general ICP for another segment.
You go back to the slide about the financials that you showed and kind of talk to me about the persona of that customer that you're representing there.
This one?
Yeah, and like what kind of a customer would this represent? And like say, what would a small business look like in that same sort of scenario?
Yeah, so this particular client, they're like an immigration client. Like they help people immigrate from other countries to the US and help them with the green card process and the visa process. So that's what this particular client is. But yeah, most small businesses, they've got like a $10,000 budget, right? $10,000 to $15,000 budget. And I would still just like put kind of the same allocation. Like for healthy, you you should still put 30% into programmatic or some kind of upper funnel on Facebook, right? You just want to make sure you're finding net new users. I did a poll on LinkedIn and I said, what's more important, awareness or clicks? And it was about 50-50. But if you don't have awareness, like if somebody's not aware of your brand, if you're not finding new users, then how will you get the clicks? So you have to find a balance of finding new users with also people who have already been to your site or people who are already aware of you. Does that help?
Yeah, it does.
Sorry, I was just going to ask if you have a few platforms that you like the most or have produced the most results.
Yes, so we run exclusively on the trade desk. They do have free education if you're looking to learn more about programmatic advertising. It's called the Trade Desk Edge. And the reason we like the trade desk the most is the inventory just performs the best. There's a lot of self-service programmatic platforms that people can just throw $50 a day and then they don't know what they're doing and so they just throw their money away. But the trade desk really focuses on premium inventory, which I like. I really am impressed with their AI models. They've really improved them a lot over the last year. They just launched a new platform called Kokai. But it can be incredibly technical, and so if you're interested in it, I'd recommend taking those trainings and just seeing if it interests you and perhaps deciding if you want to go into that field. The trade desk does require a really large minimum, and so that's why as an agency we aggregate all of our budgets under that minimum so that we can get that premium inventory for our clients. Anything else? Okay. We love working with Jessica and abovetheful.com. So we are using them for programmatic and for our clients, and super cool, all the CRM data and everything. We've just started uploading our CRM data, so that'll be exciting to see the results of that. It's awesome. So thank you so much to all of our speakers again. Can we please give one more round of applause to all of our amazing speakers? Seriously, it was the perfect blend of moving from motivational into really strategic and technical and perfect. So hopefully everybody feels pretty set now for thinking of things that you can do in the upcoming year and getting your business kind of sometimes at end of year you get tired and you gotta get motivated again for the next year. So hopefully this helps. Now it's time for the prizes. So this is really exciting. I had Joshua spinning for our winners. So first we're going to start with our business prizes. So the first one is going to be the growth strategy session and social media content package with Big Red Jelly. And the winner of that is Christina Manzak. Yay, awesome. So if you have your information, we'll get you connected and we'll send you emails. And then the next one is with Mike, is the personality assessment. And that one is going to be going to Cameron Hogan. We have Cameron here. Awesome. And then our last one for the business prizes is our upper mid-funnel marketing audit with Above the Fold. So that one is going to, drumroll, that one's going to Halen Vickers. So congratulations. All right, now we have our item prizes. So we're going to start with the one that is my favorite thing that I wear to bed every night, the merch. We're going to start with the merch. So our merch winner, we have a whole box for you. So if you won any of these item prizes, come see me at the table. And why are you running?
You want to run the prizes?
Yeah,
do you want to run the prizes?
That's what I signed up for.
Oh, yeah, okay. He wants to run. Yes. Joshua wants to run. Okay, so they're in the box.
We're doing hoodies.
Well, we have hoodies back there with sizes. We have all the sizes. So
Bring them all.
bring them all. Bring the whole box. Okay. Okay. That was crazy.
So our first prize is going to be the merch box. Our winner for that is Jacob Higgins. Woo! Congrats. And then our last prize, last but not least, definitely, is the iPad. So we're showing the merch. So if you want the merch, go see Joshua and he'll have all the sizes. So grab your sizes. All right, iPad time. The winner of the iPad is Dale Butters. So yeah, if you want a prize, make sure to see Joshua. He's got them all. And if you want the business ones, we'll connect you via email. So just keep a lookout for those emails. But thank you all so much for being here. We do have an upcoming webinar. So Connor is manning the lights right now. He's hosting the webinar. So, party time, party lights. So if you want more party with marketing, come to the webinar. It's going to be Tuesday, December 16th at 5 p.m. We're going to be talking about creating and implementing a marketing strategy. You're going to get pretty tactical there, discovering who your target audience is, kind of like Jessica talked about, establishing and defining your business goals, and figuring out what your marketing opportunities are and what's going to work for your business. So if you would like to register for that, oh no, it's right over his face. Oh no, who did that? That's crazy. Go ahead and scan the QR code and I thought I was really funny doing that. So scan the QR code just to make me feel like I'm funny. So sign up for our webinar. We'll send you emails about it. So stay tuned. Let people scan. Awesome. Great. Okay. Thanks again to Kiln for hosting us. This is such a great space. We love being here. And that is all. Thank you all for being here and we'll hopefully see you next time at our next event and at our webinar. So stay tuned, and it was great to meet all of you and continue to network and have a great night.